So this is the way in which real estate, and this is all relationships, this is not just to do with real estate now. If you have a think about, and there's another slide I use, another presentation where I go back through and I think about when was the last time, anyone that's sort of 30, maybe 40 and below, when was the last time you went into a bank? Hardly ever. Most people are now just tapping with their phone or tapping with a card. So 20 years ago, that wasn't commonplace. We're still going into the bank. And then we go back through booking travel. When did you last use a travel agent? Very rarely. When did you last leave your book online? So everything's online. Again, going back to the 20s and 30s. When did the last time you actually went out and found someone who were dating? That doesn't happen, tend to be online. So that's another program altogether. So we're using a lot more apps. So we need to have, when we're looking at our agency, this is what we need to be looking at from our structure point of view. If we're going to develop a level of service, are we more transparent? What does that mean? So if you've got Property Me, Property Tree or Console and they've got a landlord portal and you haven't switched that open to full transparency, shame on you. And the reason why I say that is because your landlords need to see exactly what's happening. The only reason you would stop that access is because you're worried about what's in there. Don't do that. Get in there, fix up what's in there and then show it. So they want transparency. They want an increased level of services or a wider range. Better customer experience. So ask yourself, what's the experience? Ask yourself this for your tenants. What's the experience that your tenants are going through when they move into a new property? Is it a great experience? Is it, do you actually do an NPS when you've got a tenant that's moving into a property? And if you do, so instead of chasing them for their after 3 days for their condition report, why don't you chase them 3 days, talk to them about the condition report, but also go back through and rate that experience. And then if they're happy, get them to put a Google review. You want to drive new growth. If you want to drive new growth, get your tenants to be doing Google reviews. And I'll talk to you about, hopefully I'll talk to you about something else later on. Maybe just remind me and I'll talk about the Christmas thing, because we'll get that later in the year, the Christmas with the Google reviews. Instant access. I don't want to be emailing a property manager to get my statement anymore. Better communication. If you're not using, I've been talking about having Zoom, having cameras on desktops for about 3 years. If there is a landlord that you don't know their face, if they walked past you in the street and you don't know who they are, shame on you again. We're talking about better experience, customer experience. You need to be zooming through to your landlords at all stages. FaceTime, Zoom, do whatever you possibly can. I'm working with an agency at the moment. It's a Chinese-based agency, so we're doing a lot of work on WeChat. And I wouldn't have thought that WeChat would be an app that I'd have on my phone, but now I'm in WeChat all the time. My Chinese isn't so great, but I'm getting better. So data 24/7, you're getting the picture in through here. So this is the way in which you're designing your agency.